And this here is the lovely Nelson. So before we get started, does everyone have a nice big hello for Nelson?
Hello, Nelson.
Lovely. Let's see if he has a hello back for you guys. Okay. So Nelson here is one of our 7 resident seals that we have at Sealife. He's going to help me talk to you guys about a few of the characteristics that our seals do have in common. So all of the seals that we have here belong to the same family, and that is called the eared seal family. So we have a nice look at the side of Nelson's head. You should be able to see these lovely sticking out ears. Good. Now these are long, thin and pointy. They are the same as our own ears. They are just rolled up tightly so that no water gets in them as Nelson swims through the water. Now another name that these guys are often called is a pinniped, and this basically means fin-footed. So they get this name thanks to their set of flippers. They have 2 at the front and 2 at the back. So Nelson, let's give everyone a bit of a closer look at these flippers. They have 2 very important uses. These front flippers are what Nelson will use to push himself forward as he swims through the water. Nice job. And then those smaller rear flippers are nice and flexible, and he can use these when he is swimming to stop and steer. But these rear flippers are also very interesting as he's able to use these on the land for a number of different things. Now, a lot of people know that seals are very agile in the water. I think they don't realise how agile they are on the land as well. And that is thanks to these rear flippers. So Nelson, let's show off just to begin with how strong those flippers are. You can see that he can actually hold up his whole body weight on these rear flippers, and he can do the same with his front flippers. But he can also rotate these flippers as well. And this is thanks to something called a rotating hip joint, and it's something that a true seal does not have. So a true seal is going to move around on the land like a big fat slug, whereas Nelson here and our eared seals are able to walk, run and climb thanks to that rotating hip joint. So Nelson, let's make our way up to this higher rocky ledge to show off that movement. Good. So you can see that it is very easy for Nelson to get all the way up to this high rocky ledge, and that is thanks to that rotating hip joint. Now this is why it's really important to remember that if you ever see a seal out in the wild, to give them plenty of space, especially if they are out on the land. Seals love to spend a lot of their time hauled out, having a little bit of a rest in the sunshine. And if they ever did feel threatened, they could become aggressive. Oh dear Nelly, you can catch that fish. Good job. Not so graceful on the way down. Now, something else I will let you know about Nelson is the species of seal that he belongs to. And this is where a few of our seals are actually different. So we do have 3 different species here at Sealife. We have the long-nosed fur seal, which you guys will meet in a few moments. But Nelson here is our one and only sub-Antarctic fur seal. Isn't that right? Yeah. So he gets this name thanks to his very impressive fur coat. Now you might not be able to see as Nelson is already wet from swimming through the water, but if I give him a little bit of a fur do, good. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that fur now. What do we all think? This fur coat is very, very dense. It's actually the second densest fur coat in the whole of the animal kingdom. And that is because Nelson here has 2 layers. He has that outer layer that is going to lay flat as he goes through the water, and the inner layer which will always remain dry. And this is how he keeps warm. Now Nelson also needs a way to cool down on a really hot summer's day. What he can do is use these lovely front flippers that we have already mentioned. So, you can often see seals in the wild doing this behaviour, and it is called sailing. So Nelson's showing off that behaviour for us right now. Good. Now Nelson is doing this because his flippers are the only place on his body that aren't covered in fur, which means he can stick them up into the air and allow a cool breeze to wash over them and cool the blood inside of them, and then he is able to pump this cooler blood around his body, and it can cool down his whole body temperature. It's a really impressive adaptation called thermoregulation. So Nelson's making his way up there to his nice little adventure. Do you want to come back down, buddy? He has done really, really well to start off our presentation and letting you guys learn a little bit about the characteristics of an eared seal. But we're going to say goodbye to Nelson and we're going to meet one of his friends, Saturday. So buddy, we'll see you later. So like I said, we are going to be joined in a few moments by the lovely Saturday. She's actually a different species of seal to Nelson. As I mentioned, she is one of our long-nosed fur seals. So she still has that really amazing fur coat, but she also has a lovely long and pointy nose. She's also a bit smaller than Nelson as well. Now Saturday here is one of our rescue seals, the same as Nelson. They do have something in common, and that is the fact that they are both actually one-eyed seals. So a few of you might have noticed that with Nelson. If you couldn't, you can see with Saturday here, she is missing one of her eyes. Good. Now this is just because of her rescue story. She was found on a beach with an injury to that eye, and unfortunately for Saturday it was unable to be saved. However, she was. So she stayed here with us at Sea Life, and this is where she will stay for the remainder of her life. Now Saturday here absolutely loves to take part in her training. This is what she's come out to help me talk to you guys about. We do training with our seals all throughout the day and for a number of different reasons. Now the first reason that we do training with these guys is so that we can ask them some high energy behaviours just to make sure that they're staying in really good shape and getting some physical exercise throughout the day. Okay. So Saturday, let's do some showing off of these high energy behaviours. These are very intelligent animals, and most of our seals here at Sea Life actually know about 50 different behaviours. And this is why it's so important to make sure that we're always scratching their brains and getting them thinking as well. Good. Now, the final and most important reason that we do training with our seals is so that they can take part in their own healthcare. Each and every day we can ask them a series of behaviours so that we can check them from head to toe, make sure that they're not feeling unwell and that they're not injured either. Now I can get up close and personal with Saturday thanks to the relationship that I built through training. Good. Now I can ask her to do things such as opening up wide so I can have a nice look at those teeth and gums. I can even smell her breath. It smells fishy. I can also ask for some different body parts such as her flippers. Check that these are moving as they should be. Good. And I can ask Saturday to lie down and turn over so I can check all down her body. In this position, I'm able to have a good look at her underside, can crouch down beside her and have a feel of her stomach, give it a push down and make sure that she's not in any pain. And in this position as well, we could also take a full body x-ray. We could even take bloods from their rear flippers completely voluntarily. Good girl. Understand? Good. So you can see in this position I'm able to do lots with Saturday, and that is thanks to all of the training that we do with her. Now a lot of people ask us how are we able to achieve all of this really amazing training, and this is through a technique called positive reinforcement. That just means that I'm going to ask Saturday a behaviour, and when she gives me this behaviour, I reinforce her with something that she loves. And this of course is lots of tasty fish. She soon realises that that behaviour is something that is really fun to do and that she will probably repeat it. And then what we are able to do is put all of her behaviours on something called a cue. And this is how I'm able to communicate with her. Now, who here thinks that my cues are different words? So Saturday is listening carefully to words that I might be saying. A couple of people raising their hands. So Saturday, do you want to show everybody your lovely flippers? No response. But if you take a good look at how I move my body, small pattern with my feet, we'll ask Saturday to show off those flippers for all of you guys. Good. And then of course I'm going to follow it up with lots of tasty fish. And this is how we're able to achieve our husbandry behaviours. It just means that Saturday is always able to take part completely voluntarily. Well, Saturday, you've done so well. I do think we have time to meet one more of our resident seals. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody? Now you guys are actually really lucky today because you've met all of the species of seal that we do have. The final individual that will be joining us in a few moments is April, and she is our lovely Australian sea lion. So you're actually able to see another member of the Eared seal family. Here she is now. April here is a little bit different from Saturday and Nelson, and that is because she is a sea lion. So this just means that she only has one layer of fur instead of two. But she also does have a nice thick layer of blubber, and this is what is going to keep her warm as she is swimming through any chilly waters. Can you show off your figure again? You want to do that? So April here is what we call an ambassador for her species. And that is because the Australian sea lion is very endangered. It's actually the rarest species of seal that you can find out there in the wild. Now, these guys do face a number of threats out there in the world, and it's completely normal for any animal to be facing their natural predators. Now, April here has been working on an impression of what her natural predators are. So when you know what she's pretending to be, shout out for me nice and loud. Yeah, I did hear a few of you shouting out shark, and that is absolutely correct. So great white sharks and sometimes orca are the main predators of seals and sea lions out in the wild. Now these are their natural predators, so of course seals are very well adapted to escape them. The first thing they can do is jump up onto the land and climb onto the safety of a high rocky ledge. Whoa. Now of course something to remember about sharks is that they are just very big fish. So they're not able to jump out onto the land to get the sea lions that have done this behaviour. But if they're out in the open ocean and there's no rocky ledge for them to climb up on, they can try another behaviour. And this is something called porpoising. It's something that everybody knows that dolphins do, but seals do it as well.
My God.
Nice porpoising there. April is able to do this behaviour thanks to her front flippers. You can imagine in the wild a group of sea lions doing this behaviour together with maybe 10 or 15 members. It's going to be a lot of splashing and a lot of movement on the surface of the water, which means any predator underneath the surface will become quite confused, and hopefully those sea lions are able to get away. Now, these animals are facing another threat out in the wild, but it's a bit more serious, and unfortunately it does come from us. So we all need to do our part to try and tackle this issue. Now, it does pose a threat to seals and sea lions, but also the sharks and other marine wildlife, and they all need our protection as they all are vital for the marine environment. I am, of course, talking about plastic pollution, and it is such a big issue right now. It is actually predicted that by the year 2050, there will be more plastic in our ocean than fish. So we all need to do our best to try and help these animals. Luckily, there is one simple thing that we can all do that will make a massive difference. April is going to show you just how easy that is. Recycling your plastic, it's really easy. All you have to do is pick up your rubbish and take it to the nearest recycling bin. This does go for any litter that you have on the floor, because it does eventually make its way back into the ocean when it rains and storms. Now, I think if one of our seals here at Sea Life can recycle, then so can everybody here. It will make such a big difference for the animals that need our help out in the oceans. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our presentation this afternoon, that you've learned a bit about our seals here at Sea Life and what you can do to help their friends in the wild. From myself, Nelson, Saturday and April, we'll see you another time.